So you want to look like you've been studying late into the hours in a Gothic library surrounded by books, papers, handwritten letters, and candles, as well as a cup of tea. Well, that is the dark academia aesthetic, something that was really popularized, I think, in TikTok. And it's an aesthetic that I think points to a lot of desires a lot of us have in response to modern living. And I'm going to deep dive into the aesthetic and the colors of dark academia and then do a makeup look around it. So just a quick rundown of some of the imagery of this aesthetic. Think of collegiate Gothic architecture. Buildings are a huge part of this aesthetic, in particular libraries. One surrounded by old books, leather-bound books, arches, all that kind of ornate architecture you think of like Oxford University, for example. And in general, this like pursuit of higher education, in particular literature and the arts. I gotta say, I'm an English lit major who went to U of T, and I specifically not just, but one of the big reasons why I chose that school was because of the look of it and that feeling of going to a university that had that really traditional architecture. And you think of your first semester in the autumn, it's definitely a feeling that a lot of young people want when they're embarking on their college, university journey. So I think a lot of us like to find some romanticism in this idea of a pursuit of education in the arts, especially when you have people telling you that a degree in the arts will get you nowhere. So I think also a lot of people, if you're a millennial like me, you come from the Harry Potter generation. You really do have this deep-seated love for this kind of aesthetic that runs into your childhood and just, again, this romanticism of a certain like look in buildings. Lately, it's been so overtaken by AI, this aesthetic, when you try and look it up on Google, on Pinterest. So a good way to find some really beautiful examples of it is look up like rainy Edinburgh autumn day, and you really get a good look at some of these buildings, these colors. So just think of like really muted tones, but dark. It's all in the word, right? Dark academia, darker taupes, darker mauves, muted, very muted reds, and very muted maroons. A little bit of like mustards, darker greens, very much an evocative color palette, very much like the dark autumn color season palette. There's a feeling of late October, early November, a lot of raininess and really romanticizing that time of year when things start to feel colder, wetter, seeing the beauty in that, especially like in contrast to that kind of bleaker landscapes. Candles, candlelight being very much an image of this aesthetic and like working by candlelight and how that looks like in contrast to like the rainy, dark outdoors. It's very, very cozy feeling. The fashions being a lot of like wool, leather, velvet, things that are more like handmade and make you think of things like the 1920s and just materials that aren't synthetic. Definitely think of like drinking a lot of tea, drinking a lot of coffee, and then the colors of like tea and coffee. So you can really get an idea of this aesthetic by looking at these images and the colors. Really, really just my color story, you know? And I do think this is also a bit of a response to like our very technological society, especially buildings that are made that are like ultra modern, very soulless. The aesthetic of this and like the architecture, it's so ornate, so soulful, especially when you think of it's being wrapped up in literary themes, right? There's a deep imagination happening here. And I think a lot of people like this in response to ultra-modernism. It's kind of like this step back into a time where things felt, I don't want to say simpler exactly, but somewhat simpler, and just like that, being immersed in a book in a library by candlelight. So let's do a makeup look using these colors. I was going to do something else, but as I was setting up, I got a knock at the door and ColourPop sent over the new Moon collection. I did actually tell them I don't want any PR right now because I'm trying to be mindful of collecting too many things, but nonetheless, this arrived. I'm not mad because I love Twilight. And I opened it up and I'm like, there's some colors here I could really work with. I do want to think about some like mustardy shades with the eyes, some browns and like darker maroons. So I'm going to give this a shot, see if this gets me where I want. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the lip for this look. And I really want to lean into like a rich dark brown. I'm going to start with Anastasia Beverly Hills liner in the shade Malt. Dark browns are probably the cornerstone of this color palette and like colors to lean into. So I'm actually going to use this liner and really bring it onto the lip because it's kind of the perfect type of brown I'm looking for. I don't necessarily have a lip shade quite the same as this. So I'm just gonna like build this up almost as a lipstick and like getting the darker line and then getting it in the middle. So you can use the side of the pencil to like start blending it across most of the lip. That to me is like the perfect dark brown for my complexion when I want like an impactful lip, but not quite leaning into like vampy territory. This is great. I really like this. I'm going to use a little bit of another shade of brown to like start to play a little. And this is from Florasis. It's the shade Sandalwood. It has almost like, it looks like it has a little bit of red in it, like as a base, a little bit. And I'm just going to blend that. So the liner is making up the bulk of the pigment, but then that's kind of like a topper shade to add the little bit more depth as well as like to get a finish that's a little bit more like soft. It's definitely like a soft matte finish. And I'm really liking that. This is great. Happy girl. Let's move on to blush. It's been a long time since I used this shade from Nude Sticks, and it's the shade Deep Maple A. I used to live by this shade. I was obsessed with it for years and I love it still. I just kind of forgot about it. Hence, there's like dust on it. Okay, so I'm gonna try this shade out. It's very much a brown with a bit of red in it, and that's what I'd like to use as the blush. I should say for a base, I already did my foundation. Definitely matte or satin, no glow. This is very much a feeling of like a older type of makeup style in some ways, just like the skin being glowy is just such a modern thing. So I used my usual favorite Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin. So that's like the perfect brown meets red color. Perfect for anybody with like a warm undertone. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Also, what I do really like about these is the finish of them is fairly matte as well. Taking my foundation brush and buffing this into the skin, smoothing out the edges. A little bit of setting powder. This is the NARS Light Reflecting. It's a very, very light style of setting powder, not like a loose powder. So you can be really like liberal with it if you want, or just like a tiny dusting of setting, because I know some people like that, keeping like the finish of their foundation. Drop your favorite setting powders down below because I'm running low on like my loose one, and I'm curious about maybe trying something new. And this is always the point in the look when I've done lips and cheeks, and I just like it so much already because I think it's such a great vibe to have a bold lip and a minimal eye. But I want to do a little bit of eyeshadow. Once again, leaning into the color stories I illustrated earlier, and nothing too bold. Like I'm like straddling this line between like gothic and kind of clean and put together in a way. So I'm going to start with this shade. I actually think this is a great shade because it's mustardy, but it looks to me fairly light. Like it's not a vivid mustard. So here's hoping this is like a nice transition shade. I'm going to use this in the crease as the kind of base shade. Yeah, that is literally exactly the type of mustard I want. Not in your face mustard. Marry Me is the shade name. And just a touch of that on the lower lash line. Still using this pretty fluffy brush. Doesn't need to be precise, I just want like a hint of it. I'm interested in deepening a little bit with this shade. Maybe mixed with this one, because it looks like it's gonna be kind of a little bit of a vivid red, but this, I don't wanna go too purple, so do some mixology. The shade names are Paper Cut, October, November, December. If you know, you know. like blending them in the pan, and then I'm gonna just like kind of test them here. Just looking what I want to look like. I'm gonna start deepening in the outer corner. I actually ended up picking a little bit more of the red. And then the mustard kind of over it to blend it. I've actually just kind of concocted this little bit of a muddy feeling here. A little bit of this on the lower lash line. I'm gonna take a little bit of this one, You're Sort of Beautiful. I feel like it's gonna bridge the gap between this mustard and these like deeper shades. Now I'm just taking the fluffy brush and making sure everything's looking blended together. As much as this has started to look a little bit darker and moodier, I actually want the wing I'm gonna do to be most of the focus. Just gonna brighten a little bit more on the eyelid with my trusty, very pale yellow from this palette. Just like a very soft, brightening, blending shade. Yeah, I feel like when I think of like a winged liner, one of the sort of characters who comes to mind is like a librarian, especially with glasses. Very stereotypical, I know, but I don't know, I feel like a wing is in order today. It's like I kind of completely muted everything down, and I think that works. I'm gonna create a liner out of this dark brown hair called Your Everything. Oh, so romantic. I'm gonna use the MAC Fix Plus with a liner brush. So the way I like to do this is to spray on the back of my hand and then go in with my eyeliner brush, then into the pan. Some people spray right into the pan. I don't know, this is just more controlled for me. So just like a little bit there, just a little bit of that. Then I go into the corner of a pan and start to create this liner. And I'm thinking like a skinny, long liner that kind of goes closer here all the way out. And you often have to reactivate the liner as you go, like a little bit more setting spray, because it might dry down. I will forever prefer this to a liquid liner. Just so much easier. Sometimes if you're finding it's too wet, you can just like put it at the back of your hand while you put a bit more shadow on it. Clearly the back of my hand acts as like a palette, as you can see. I think I want to go just a touch longer actually. Kind of going over a weird little tiny bump I've got there. I don't know if you can tell. Sometimes I can be a little perfectionisty and hyper-focus on the littlest details. I'm gonna clean up the edge. Okay, there we go. I like that. I'm gonna do the same on the other side and pop on some lashes. I might pop something into the waterline too, we'll see. And I'll be back to assess where we're at. And here is where the makeup look is at. I ended up putting a dark brown in the waterline, and with the mascara, I mixed a black and a brown. So it's basically like an almost black, just a touch brown. It's very subtle, probably just noticeable in the daylight. Now, I'm really happy with this. This definitely achieved exactly what I wanted it to, just this exploration of like darker browns, really. And yeah, I feel like that New Moon palette ended up being the perfect palette for this makeup look. I think this makeup would be well suited for a rainy autumn day in Edinburgh, especially wearing like some kind of wool coat, cozy scarf. I really think this makeup look would go perfectly with that aesthetic. So if you have any kind of clothing like that, definitely try out a look like this, try out a lip like this. And yeah, I love this shade of brown. To me, I really love like darker aesthetics, but I like them a little bit more balanced, so to say. So I really like when there's this play of like dark imagery with something a little bit lighter, quote unquote, but basically not leaning fully into the full vamp or full goth. You could just kind of like find this middle ground. That's my favorite way to explore a darker aesthetic. And I feel like dark academia really just kind of embodies that in some ways, because you can always add these like lighter details, like a ribbon in the hair would be so perfect with this, even like pearl earrings or something. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed another aesthetic exploration. I've really enjoyed these, just like, I'm going to call them makeup studies, where you just like look at the energy of something and do the work of like translating it into a color story and therefore like a look on your face. And yeah, that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. Toasty, he looks like a little bit of dark academia vibes. His coloring is definitely very well suited. He's got that little bit of like dark mustard happening, all the browns. I feel like you would look great in Edinburgh, Toti. Maybe you should go to school, get a university degree. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching till the end. Until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.